Hello YouTube creators and subscribers, I just wanted to thank you all for tuning into my video. Today we're going to be going through bases on Mars, episode 4, so let's begin. So as always we start with these different bookmark map locations. The first one we have is a Google cover-up. Now for some reason Google is covering up this area on Mars with this large black looking rectangular space. Now it could be that when they're putting together this map, this specific area, they had to leave out that mark because the way they overlap photographs to get a specific part of the map. But as you can see, there's other interesting things that are featured in this photograph. So in the cover-up, this is what you get. This rectangular box. And it potentially could be hiding something nefarious or something very interesting as far as scientific discovery goes. Or it could just be, like I said, an accident when they accidentally stitched up the photographs. They didn't do it properly. And then we have the dunes. So the sand dunes that are created in this area are usually created through wind patterns. But as you can see, very unique in the way they are shaped. And it looks like there potentially could be some ice or water there. You can see this white looking material. Here, some more white looking material. And then we have one more thing in this asteroid comet hit. And that's right outside of the area. This white looking snow, water, reflective material. And what could this reflective material be? That is something that you guys have to sort of figure out or guess for yourself. Me, I basically think it is how they photograph this area. Could potentially be a large amount of snow that gathered in the region. Then as you can see, there's some other white spots, some other areas that look pretty interesting. Other than that, that's that area. There is some land masses that form around this that have a very dark, ominous look. But of course, this isn't high resolution, so we can't really see all the details. And then we're going to go ahead and go to here. So this is pretty interesting as well. It looks like it could have been an accumulation of water, some kind of liquid, or a weird land mass that was created from an organic material. As you can see, it creates these ridges, these sort of range shape mounts, and it goes on for miles. I mean, like many miles. And then it just ends abruptly. So I think that's pretty interesting. Looks like worms. A lot of people have hypothesized on the internet that this could be some type of worm or some kind of tremors, similar to the creature that's featured in the movie Tremors. So we're going to go ahead and go to the next area. The next area is mushroom bones. Now, I either think this is some kind of organic fungi or type of mushroom or a rock, but how it's growing in this area is very peculiar. It seems as if it's placed intelligently, and if they were rocks, why is it so dark in this area? As you can see, they're scattered over here too as well, but they look like some kind of circular rocks, fungi, or mushrooms, or maybe even mound or bases that potentially could have held some kind of organic animal life at one point. So that is basically it for this area. What we're going to do is navigate around the area to see if there's anything else suspicious or similar. You can see there is some similar land formations, but not exactly the same as the mushrooms or fungi that's pictured here. So we're going to go to the next area. Okay, so this next area is what I call bases or housing units on Mars, and it goes for miles. They almost look like some kind of worm infestation, and if you look closely, they do have entry holes. So we're going to go ahead and look at this a little bit closer and navigate through each section. So as we zoom in, you could see there's a ridge, a rock formation, and then a hole. Same right here, rock formation, hole, rock formation, hole. And it's almost like they're very uniform in the way these holes are made, as if they're entryways into homes. And as you can see, building after building after building. Now I'm not saying this is actually buildings on Mars. Could be something else like a rock formation, or maybe even some kind of sand dunes created by wind. But it looks pretty interesting. So you got holes right there, holes, almost as if you could enter into these little rock masses and create some kind of living area. And like I said, it goes on for miles and miles. As you can see, here's a bigger one right here, a little bit larger. Let the Google Maps load for just a moment. Okay, so it's fully loaded. As you can see, there's holes, and it has a roof, and it just looks like it was formed out of some kind of building structure, building material. And it goes on for miles and miles and miles. And then it ends over here. So at this top area, it ends. And as you can see, they're stationed. Some have weird shiny bright lights, but a lot of them have entry holes, entry hole, entry hole. So I think that's pretty interesting. Could be a weird sand dunes, could be some kind of organic virus or animal that used to live on Mars that no longer lives there, or it could be, like I said, some kind of alien life form, some alien bases. And that's basically it. We're gonna go ahead and back out and go to the next area. Okay, so the next area is titled houses. We're going to let Google load up the map momentarily, and then we're going to look into this in a little bit more detail. So I call these houses, and as we scroll in, very similar to the buildings that we were seeing before. So of course it gets blurry as we scroll in, but you can see these little squares with entry holes. So this could have housed some kind of living animal, or it could be a bunch of rocks. Goes on, let me scroll in here. Cast some shadows. And then it starts forming some of this weird black stuff over here. And this looks like this is a part of a mountain range, if I'm not to be mistaken. So very peculiar. And then we got this weird Google cover up. So this is Seville, a crater. And it's based off a town in Denmark. But as you can see, if we back up at this crater, it's very blurry. So they're stitching a very old photograph right here to a new photograph of the satellite view, and then a very old photograph stitched right here. And if we zoom in, it's a interesting crater that's very dark on the outside, this black looking volcanic material, and then it's very bright in the inside. So pretty interesting nonetheless. What we will do now is we will go to the next area. So this next one is supposedly called base opening. We'll see how factual that is. See if there's, oh, there really is a base opening. So I remember finding this a while back. I was just browsing around and I found this crater. It looks like basically a mountain or a crater, but something's off about it. Because if we tilt it, and we tilt the map this way, as you can see, there's this large black looking entryway to this circular dome mountain. And now, if this was an area of impact where a comet had hit, you would see a very large burn area in the middle of the comet impact. But unfortunately, this crater or mountain doesn't look anything like a normal comet impact. It actually looks like there's a base carved out into the mountain structure. So we're going to zoom in and take a look at that in just a moment. So it's a large mountain, and if we zoom in as much as Google allows us to, we could see that that's definitely looks like an entry hole. A very nice cut, and it has a huge entryway, like a huge pathway. So if we back up, this shadow is not being casted by the sun or by the creation of this mountain. And if we measure, we can get a good measurement of it, how wide it is. So let's go ahead and get that. Not a line. Okay. So in centimeters, let's do in feet, and then in miles. So that's 1.7 miles. That could definitely fit a large craft outside of that. And then if we try to do like a measurement of it from the ground to the top entry point, that's about a half a mile. So that's a very large entry point. So we're going to go ahead and clear that, close that, and bring the map to the north position again. And then we're going to go ahead and click on the base opening. And we're going to go back to how it was pictured. So as you can see, why is a shadow being casted inward into the rock when there's no other higher shape on the outside? So this shadow could only be created as if there was another piece of mountain standing about right here, and it would have to be a lot taller than this unit. But that's not created by a shadow, that's created by an entry hole or a large cave. So pretty interesting. Probably a good official find of a base on Mars. So what we're going to do is end it here. I think that's everything for this episode. As you can see on the side, on the left side, we got plenty of areas to still navigate on Mars and the moon. But this we're going to leave here. So what do you guys think? Is this a base opening or a shadow casted by the rock, or maybe something else? As always, you decide. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. And do you have a good afternoon or evening?